I'll give the windshield a fluffy hairdo. There we go. Whoa, there we go. Hello, welcome back to the Happy Huts. It's a very sad day today because today's the day that I'm going to take off this Ulanzi wide angle lens. It's coming off today. It's been really useful, but I don't like it. And I'm going to explain why it's been good for me and the ZV-1 or ZV-1 camera. I think that's going to be the last time that I say ZV-1, the Sony ZV-1 camera. And the reason I'm taking it off is this. It's the Neewer wide-angled lens for the Sony ZV-1 camera. I'll be unboxing that in just a moment, and I'll be comparing the two lenses. I'll be comparing this Ulanzi against the Neewer, against how the Sony ZV-1 looks straight out of the box with no wide-angle lens on the front. If you're interested in getting a Sony ZV-1 camera, or you already have one, you'll already know the frustration with the lens. So let's just recap the problem. The Sony ZV-1 or ZV-1 is a wonderful camera. It's beautiful. I love mine. I use it all the time. I'm up to about 2,000 videos that I've shot on it, 2,000 individual video files. But the ZV-1 is absolutely terrible as a vlogging camera. It's terrible for vlogging. It's been sold to us by Sony in its advertising as the perfect vlogger's camera, and it's not. Because for me, vlogging is being able to hold the camera at arm's length and for it to take a good shot at arm's length. I'm standing a little back from the camera now. If I move forward and hold the camera with my hand, so this would be holding the camera at arm's length, this is what the shot should look like. It should have me in and enough of the background for it to feel like a good piece of vlogging, because I'm talking about the place where I'm at. But if I take the lens off, and this is the Ulanzi wide-angled lens, this is the shot that you get. If I hold the camera like a vlogger would, like Fun for Louis or Emma Chamberlain or any of your favourite vloggers, this is too close. My head is too big in frame. This is not very comfortable. If I really stretch out, this is the kind of shot you get. Let me take it off the tripod. This is the shot that Sony thinks is the shot for vloggers. I hate to disagree with you, Sony. You give us so many wonderful products, but my big face on my videos isn't one of them. It should be further back, and I'm really stretching my arm out now. So if you're out on the streets, out in public, and you're really craning your arm out like this while you're goose stepping down the sidewalk, trying to talk to the camera at the same time as holding the thing, it's not good. It's not good enough. This shot is too tight. And the reason it's too tight is because the lens isn't wide enough. So the wonderful people at Ulanzi, I think they were the first out of the gate to make this. It's a wide-angled lens that you put onto the end of the camera like this, and it just screws on. So this is what the shot looks like. So I've got some rain spots because it is starting to rain. We're going to get through this quickly. This is the shot with the wide-angled lens on. There's an added complication with the Sony ZV-1 as well, which is that there's inbuilt stabilization. So if I take the lens off, I have now taken the built-in stabilization off. It's called active stabilization. I have no stabilization now. And if I walk around, you might notice that maybe it's not quite as steady as it could be. So I'm going to walk to the end of the garden. This is with no wide-angled lens on. This is how I would hold the camera. So this looks like a better shot because my face isn't quite as big, but the movement is really jerky. The ZV-1 has some inbuilt stabilization which smooths that out, but to do that, it zooms into the picture a bit. So let me turn on the stabilization. This is the camera, the ZV-1 camera, with active stabilization on, so it should feel a bit smoother and a bit less jerky. But look at the size of my face. I can't even look at the screen. This is way too close for you to be near me. I'll try and put the camera down. We'll do a straightforward side-by-side comparison now. This is what the shot looks like normally with active stabilization, with no lens stuck on the front, and this is how the shot looks on the Sony ZV-1 with the Ulanzi wide-angled lens. So this is with the wide-angled lens on, And this is with the wide-angled lens off, so just pure natural camera lens. You can see the shot is tighter. This is how the shot looks with the wide-angle lens back on the camera. I've got two other features that I can show you. If you are interested in this lens, there's a link in the description down below. If I go behind the camera, you can zoom in. So the zoom seems to work completely normally. And now going into digital zoom, and then I'm going to zoom out. So the zoom seems to work completely well with the wide-angled lens on. Let's go in further. I'll pan up. So the stabilization seems to work and the zoom seems to work completely fine with the wide-angled lens on the camera. This wide-angled lens seems to have served me really well, especially when I've been shooting in the bathroom for some of my DIY videos. There's no way I could have done that on my ZV-1 because the field of view would just be too tight. So at least I can get most of the room in with this lens on. But there are a few cons, I think, with this particular lens. The biggest one is it's ugly. It looks stupid. I don't like my beautiful ZV-1 looking like this. It's got this big blob on the end of that really elegant pop-out zoom. And the worst thing is, this thing is held on by sticky tape. I've got some footage of unboxing the Ulanzi wide-angled lens. This is what comes in the box. But you need to stick a plate onto the end of your camera lens, and this wide-angled lens then screws onto that plate. Now my plate looks slightly different because I've used a JJC stick-on plate. I kind of like how the center is cut out like a box, but I'd already stuck mine on to the camera and it fit the Ulanzi lens, so that was handy. But it's a $700 camera and I'm sticking a lens on with double-sided sticky tape. Sony, what are you doing to us? For me, it's been useful. This has been stuck on here for 2 years, and I've even been able to use the stick-on ring to put an auto-cue on the end of the camera. I've got a link to that video of the auto-cue, auto prompt that I use. That's in the description. But the ring has been on the whole time, and I just hate my camera looking like this. It looks like it's squashed its nose or something. But I have used this lens a lot, so here are the pros. The biggest one is that it's $50 at the moment, so it's much cheaper than the Neewer wide-angle lens that we're about to see in a moment. The sticky tape that I've used has lasted 2 years, so the system works. I'm not looking forward to taking it off though. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. There is also a macro lens on this thing, so there are actually 2 lenses. If I unscrew the outer one, it's a bit fiddly, but it leaves a second lens on the camera, which is a macro lens, which is a lens that you can hold very close up to close objects without it falling out of focus. So I've got a really nice mushroom growing out of the table next to the Happy Hut, my demonstration table. If I push close, you can see how much detail it picks up. So this is with active stabilization on, and look how close I can go. Oh, I'm gonna get the mushroom touching my camera. You see how close that is? I'm gonna grab my fake coffee in my YouTube logo mug. I'll leave a link in the description. But this is a really sad and exciting time for me. Can you be excited sad? Because we've got the Neewer. It's just about raining, so this is very well timed. I've got the Neewer wide-angled lens waiting for me. So I'm going to take off the lens, perhaps for the very last time. So sad. Okay, let's get the lens cap on. Thank you for your service. Now, moments of truth, I'm going to take this ring off. Like I said, it is JJC, but it's exactly the same as the ring that comes with the Ulanzi. I think I'm going to borrow my daughter's hairdryer to warm up the glue. Just gently. I probably don't need the diffuser, do I? I'll give the windshield a fluffy hairdo. There we go. Whoa, there we go. And, oh, can it be true? Oh, it's brilliant. The tape has stuck to the ring, not my beautiful lens. Oh, hello lens. There you are. I've missed you. You now look like how cameras look. Now we get to fit the Neewer wide-angle lens. So the first thing we need to do is to fit the tube onto the camera. In the instructions it says that the Neewer logo should be up. I guess they want it to be seen. But also there is some kind of strange cutout here. So if you put it this way up, I guess it can do it. But if you put it on the way they suggest, then the center cutout means that it's kind of flush with the bottom of the camera. So I'll get the precious Allen key, and as you've probably guessed, it grips the outside of the lens on the ZV-1. I kind of like the look of this. Might leave it on. So now this is on, you then line up the tube, the extension tube, red dot to red dot, and press the button on the side here. And now when you turn the camera on, it goes it pushes it out slightly, so I'm going to turn it off. There we go, it disappears inside. Now we can put the lens on. Now one question I did have when I was buying this was, can you put the Ulanzi lens, where is it? Can you put the Ulanzi lens on this extension tube? And you can't, because they're two completely different sizes. Yeah, that doesn't fit at all. And then we'll screw it on here, take the lens cap off. I prefer the look of this. I feel like I can hold the camera with it. It has like a rubberized grip. So this section here, this ring here, is rubberized, which feels really good to hold. The rest is plastic for weight, and this is metal and glass. This is bolted on, and it feels great. So you press the button to release the tube and the lens like that. I'll put it back. Oh, this is good. This already feels good. I'll turn the ZV-1 on. And it pushes out slightly. There were some people online saying it looks really loose and dangly. I guess if you really give it some force, the spring inside does give a little. You do really have to boing it up and down to do that. If you're just holding it, it doesn't feel too bad. Let's turn the camera on. And we are now recording on the ZV-1. I'm actually holding the camera by the Neewer extension tube. This is how the Neewer wide-angle lens looks on the Sony ZV-1. I'm holding the camera like vloggers do. What I can do, I can just pop the button to take the lens off, and we can compare it with how the ZV-1 looks with no wide-angle lens. So, whoa. This, oh sorry, I'm shaking a bit. This is how the ZV-1 looks with no wide-angled lens on, straight out the camera. This is what it looks like at arm's length with active stabilization. This is how the wide-angled lens looks, the Neewer wide-angled lens for the Sony ZV-1. This is how it looks. This is how the Ulanzi wide-angled lens looks with active stabilization and with me holding the camera at arm's length. We'll do a side-by-side comparison. So this is the Neewer wide action lens at arm's length on the Sony ZV-1 camera. Active stabilization. And I've got this playlist, my ZV-1 playlist, my Sony ZV-1 videos, all of them, accessories, tips and tricks, everything that I've gathered while using my camera for 2 years, I'll put into that playlist there.
Can you please help my daddy get 10,000 subscribers? Just click in his face. Thanks, bye. Alright, this is going to be the proper one, right?